Sagittarius, my dears, this is your reading for the week of May 3rd, or when you hear it and it resonates. And I would say Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So Sag, what I'm seeing is an image of somebody at a horse race and a bookie, somebody who's taking bets on a horse. And then I hear two songs. One is Drifting Along with the Tumbling Tumbleweed. And then the other one is, I don't remember the name of it, Dark Horse. Let me just check to see. Yes, Dark Horse by Amanda Marshall. And so the first one is talking about Tumbling Along with the Tumbling Tumbleweed. It's an old song, Drifting Along with the Tumbling Tumbleweed. It's an old song about a cowboy who's out on the range all by himself in the desert. Well, desert, on the range. And watching the tumbleweed and letting the tumbleweed guide his path. And it's talking about being lonely. But at the same time, it's talking in a way about being free. And the sense that I'm getting with you as I'm listening to that song, and as I'm getting a feel for the energy here, it's that quality of, I almost want to say, I feel as though you need to be able to withdraw in order to be able to see what emotions are going to be tumbling for you and where they're going to take you. Because that combined with the image of the bookie taking bets on something and the song Dark Horse by Amanda Marshall, it's talking about betting on a dark horse in terms of a love relationship. So what's a dark horse? It's kind of like, it's a long shot, or it's what people perceive to be a long shot. But in this song, she's willing to bet on this long shot. So what I feel for you Sagittarians, for the ones who are resonating with this, for the part of the collective, is that there is a part of you, there is a part of you, that there are some of you who are looking at a situation and you're not sure if you should continue investing in it or start to invest in it. But I feel it's a continuation. I feel like it's continuing. So the sense that I'm getting with all of this is, again, if I go back to the image of the cowboy out on the range, it's that sense of that being able to take space to get away from it. Because when you're at the racetrack and you're trying to figure out how to bet, there's so much commotion around you, there's so much chaos, and there's so many people around you that it's really, really hard for you to be able to stand back and say, do I want to bet on this again? Do I want to place my bet on this? Or am I willing to walk away? The thing that, and because this, like when I say a lot of people, there's a lot of emotion. I'm getting remorse and guilt. I'm getting grief. I'm getting overwhelm. Those are the kinds of energies that I feel are around this situation. But the energy that I feel Spirit is asking you to engage in is humor, kindness, humility from the sense of no matter what you know, think you know, or what you're planning to do, remain open to the idea that there is wisdom beyond yours and stay open to the input. And then the action card is imagine if you knew for sure that God was absolutely head over heels in love with you, that there was this divine love that thought whatever you did was just absolutely fine, that whatever you do is fine. You are going to be supported by the divine, by divine energy, by divine love, no matter what. If you knew that and you trust in that, is that going to allow you to stand back more? Have a little bit of humor towards it instead of being so determined to try to figure it out? Can you look at yourself and everybody in the situation with kindness? And can you trust that no matter what you think you know for sure, there may be other stuff going on that you're not aware of? Now, how does this leave? Where does this leave you in terms of if you're trying to make a decision? Where this leaves me in terms of your spiritual growth and your evolution of your consciousness, because for me, that's what all of this stuff is about, is that, you know, when you grieve something, when you really allow yourself to grieve, it opens your heart and it allows you to go much deeper. in not only in terms of knowing the situation and knowing your own feelings, but in terms of understanding yourself from a different perspective, and allows you to tune into the, more increasingly, I should say, allows you to tune into the idea that you are more than your emotions, you're more than the situation, you're more than who you are in a particular role. And that once you start understanding that, once you start really embodying that reality of you being far more than just this person that's living on this earth plane and doing all these functions, then it's far easier for you to be able to step back and have a kind attitude, a more neutral attitude towards something, and be able to, oh, and now you get the card prayerfully, okay? And grace. Well, my goodness. Okay, so what does this mean? Where am I going to take this? Spirit, what are you saying? What are you encouraging here? The feeling that I'm getting with this is, it's very difficult. Here we go. It's very difficult to make a choice when you are in a state of remorse or in a state of guilt about something. That just kind of keeps you locked in. And so if what you can do is you can get that space that I was talking about earlier, that they were talking about earlier, where you can just move aside other people's energy and other people's expectations, and you can just let yourself be with yourself in nature, with the idea that you're having divine support, divine inspiration, that whatever you do is fine, that there's no pressure. It's not about right or wrong. That allows you to be able to start making a choice from your deeper feelings rather than from a lot of fear, remorse, guilt, things like that, because those aren't light. Those aren't clear. They're very, very dramatic. They're very emotional, very, very linked to personality. So what you're doing here, if you're understanding that whatever you're going through is part of a process of getting to know yourself better and to understand what your mechanisms are and what your choices are, what this feels to me is that it's really asking you to step back, trust in the divine, and really let yourself take the attitude, okay, I'm feeling remorse about this, I'm feeling guilty, I'm already grieving it, I'm in overwhelm around this situation. Do you want to be in that energy? I think the answer is no. Now, you may choose to stay in that energy because dealing with it and letting other emotions, deeper emotions come up might be too scary for you. You might not want to have to look at emotions that come up that say, take this path instead of that one. You might not want to see that. On the other hand, what you might find is you're going to end up staying on the path that you're on, but you're just going to clear it so that you can be on it in a way where you were not in a state of overwhelm, where you're not in a state of remorse, where you're not in a state of guilt or grief, where you can actually clear it and start experiencing life from a new set of energies and a new set of emotions that may not have been ones you were taught to think were possible in this situation. Now, of course, when we are dealing with relationships, we are dealing with whether it's personal, private, whether it's work, I should say if it's romantic partnership or work, friendship, we're always going to be playing out of our history until we identify what that history is if it's getting in the way. And this is one of the opportunities that you have. Of course, whoever's in it with you has to be willing to take the same chance. They may not be able to, but until they're given clear statements about what's necessary for you, they're not going to make a choice, or they very possibly will not make a choice. So, what I'm suggesting is this. What am I suggesting on behalf of the guides here? Be gentle with yourself. Understand that many of the negative and the heavy emotions that you're carrying around this situation are not ones that are going to solve it for you. that it may seem really challenging and really simplistic for us to say to you, step back and lighten your energy. But the reality is you can do that. You have to understand that by making a choice from a different energy, however, is going to be the thing that's going to help you make the right choice for you. Okay? So remember, attitude and mood can be a choice. Now, it doesn't mean, for example, excuse me, sweetheart, it doesn't mean, for example, that you should be in a negative situation and go, oh, but I can feel happy about it. No, it's not saying that. It's saying when you're making choices about situations and choosing your emotions in it, it's not suggesting that you stay in situations that make you miserable. It's saying when you're looking at a situation and you're deciding how you want to deal with it, you can choose the energy you want to use in order to deal with it. You can shift it, okay? Now, is that simple? No, not always. Sometimes the drama of it really gets you. And if it is really getting you, chances are that's the time when you're going to need to look back and say, okay, where is this energy coming from? If I can't get out of this, it's very possible that this experience is teaching me that there is another energy in me from my past experiences, from my training, from my karma, that is causing me to be in this energy so that I can finally look at it and get rid of it and clear it out of my life. Because if that is resonating, if you're resonating still with guilt, with remorse, with grief, then that is going to be the energy through which you start experiencing life in a lot of different ways. This may be the thing that's going to allow you to move it. So if you can shift it, if it's just habitual thinking and you can shift it and get out of it easily in order to be able to analyze and look at a situation and decide from a different energy, great. If you can't, this is your opportunity. Use this as an opportunity to let it go. Regardless, what they're saying is the space around the issue, the space around other people's energies and other people's expectations and your concerns about what other people think, those are the things that it's going to help you to remove yourself from in the process of this in order to decide where you want to be with it. Okay? Sagittarians, this may sound, for those of you who are resonating with this might sound kind of like a heavy reading. And I suppose in some ways it is, because it's talking about a heavy energy. Remorse and guilt, grief, overwhelm, they are all heavy. But what I want to remind you of, my dears, is you've also got humor, kindness, humility, prayerfully, and grace. And you've got God is head over heels in love with you. You've got 3 cards that are heavy, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are light, that are about divine, that are about growth, that are about beauty, that are about grace. And that is really what the guides want to leave you with, because that's the energy they would like you to move towards in order to be able to make this decision or these decisions. And that this is not just about this decision. This is about you healing something in your life and being able to move towards something that you really like. Okay? Now, the way you do it, the nature in which you do it, that's going to be something that's going to be a lot easier when you focus on the humor, kindness, humility, prayerfully, grace, God is head over heels, and also, what do you really like about somebody? What do you really like about the situation? Focus on that and see where that falls, or see where that lines up with all the things that you don't like. Okay? Because that might give you an idea of where your tumbleweed wants to lead you. So if your tumbleweed are your emotions, the chaos of things that are caught up, go out on the range, go for a nice ride on a horse, look at the stars, and just see as these emotions tumble out where they want to take you. Okay? But from a higher perspective. That's it, Sag. Take care.